I'm Barb Estabrook, and I want to welcome you to my kitchen in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. If today was Thanksgiving, I'm going to show you how I prepare one of my signature side dishes, my own creation. It's roasted Brussels sprouts with sweet potato. It's topped with pancetta after the mixture is roasted with sweet onion and tossed with olive oil and seasoned with fresh rosemary. I top it also with toasted hazelnuts and drizzle it with Wisconsin maple syrup mixed in with Wisconsin melted butter. And for this purpose, I'm going to step you through the prep of this easy to make, very healthy side dish. What I did the night before was I prepared the Brussels sprouts. I use about a pound of Brussels sprouts. And what you want to do is trim them. The edges, if you can see, are a little dark. And what I do, I'll move this aside, is I just snip off that bottom part, and then I slice them in half, toss them in together. This one's been trimmed so that I have a nice bowl. There's, like I said, about a pound. And if you run into a larger Brussels sprout, then what you want to do is quarter it. I've already peeled my sweet potato, and I've cut them into slices about a ½ inch thick. And what I'm going to do is show you how I, cut them down. You can cube them or cut them whatever way you want, but I like to cut them in half, and then I like to do little triangular wedges. I think that, is kind of neat. A little fancier than the cube, but I like to do it this way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some sweet potato, and sweet onion, and that's what I'll show you next. But that's basically how I would do it, and I pour in, I combine these. I like to use my hands, I always have. It's a little tight in here, but that's okay. I'll mix them up. And I've got already peeled my sweet onion. Move that over. And what I would do is I want pieces that are about ½ inch. So I've sliced that in half. Throw it in there. Oh, okay. I've also used shallots in this dish, but if you use shallots, because they're so thin, I think I would add it to the mixture about halfway through the roasting process. You're going to use about a cup of these chopped onions. As you can see, I'm not fussy, I just chop them. They're just a nice addition, I think, to this. Now I have a fresh rosemary plant over there that I bought. I kind of like to use fresh with my herbs. I wish I had a better green thumb, because then I'd have a lot of herbs, but I just don't get it. I don't know. Not a gardener. So I'm almost done with the onion. And again, I like to use my hands. Okay, it's just kind of easier. Now I've already prepared this tray that I'm going to put them on. I put about a tablespoon of olive oil on there, and what I'm going to do is drizzle about 2 tablespoons of olive oil on this mixture right here. 1, 2. Set that aside, and then what I have here is about a tablespoon of that rosemary. Sprinkle it around. And I'm going to add, I would say, about 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon, you can measure it, of garlic powder, depending upon how much you like garlic powder. And then I'm going to add some cracked black pepper to this mixture. And then I'm going to grind some sea salt, fresh sea salt over the top. Don't need much, because you're going to have pancetta, which is salty, on top of this. Especially if you're have to reduce your salt, you might want to use just regular table salt or just a little bit of that sea salt. So now I'm going to toss that together. Make sure it's nicely coated. That's what the olive oil is all about. Now I got a tip on one of the cooking shows that says light olive oil is probably nice to use at high temperatures, but it's, you know, it's less likely to burn, but I'm going to add just a little bit more because I have quite a bit of veggies here. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to put this all out on the prepared sheet that I have. Just fits. Nice. Okey-doke. Now I'm going to wipe my hands when I get things all over. And I'm going to put this into the oven. I have preheated my oven at 400 degrees. And I'm going to put this into the oven for about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. I'll set my timer. Let's make it 18. Okay? In the meantime, while that's roasting, partially roasting, I am going to saute my pancetta so it's nice and crisp. I have a nonstick skillet here. And actually, you can buy this pancetta, and it's a nice quality brand, in 2 packets on one sheet that's in the store. It's already diced, so it's really nice. Saves some time, I guess. So I've got this going. I started it a little while ago, so we're going to get this kind of crisped up. And then what I'm going to do is also, in this 15 to 20 minutes, I've got a little bit of Wisconsin butter. I'm going to put that on low. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of Wisconsin maple syrup. This. Just a nice touch. And that's going to kind of melt together. Keep it on low. Keep it warm. In the meantime, I'm going to get this sizzling so it's nice and brown, a little bit crisp. When I take the Brussels sprout mixture out of the oven, I do it halfway through the roasting process, and then I turn it and put it back in about 10 minutes before I think it's blackened in spots enough and tender. Then I will add the cranberries, and the cranberries, I use about 1/3 cup of cranberries to 1/2 cup. It depends. And these are dried cranberries. We grow cranberries in Wisconsin. Actually, the harvesting of them is done about 30 miles from my home. So I try to really promote Wisconsin products. The maple syrup is a Wisconsin maple syrup. And I'm a big proponent of that. I think you should do that if you can. But anyway, that's my own thoughts. I'm trying to get this going here so it's going to get nice and crisp. This will take a little while, but once I get it nice and crisp, then what I'm going to do is transfer it to this paper towel lined plate. I'll lift it out and put it here, and that'll be set aside until after my sprout mixture and sweet potatoes are roasted, and then I will add that to the top. As you can see, it's nice and sizzling now. Good. It'll get nice and brown. Don't want to overcook it. I like it just, you know, like with a nice crispiness to it, but not dry. Can you hear the sizzle? That's what I want. Nice. Okay, now I'll give my maple syrup and butter a stir. That's good. It's gonna just all melt together. And watch your temperature on that so it doesn't get too thick. Oh, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to, 14 minutes left before I have to turn my mixture, but in the meantime, I'm going to drain some of this so that it's not too greasy. With a slotted spoon, I'm going to transfer it to a paper-lined plate. One last bit. As you can see on my counter, I do have a little bit of blue cheese. Now, not everybody likes blue cheese, and sometimes the children kind of make a face when they see that cheese and they ask what it is. So, that's an option. But if you like it, you can put it on maybe half of the dish at the end. I love blue cheese, so again, I would put it on if it were me. I've got here some stovetop toasted hazelnuts that I'm going to put on as a finishing touch over the butter and maple syrup drizzle, but I want to keep that going on low, and then I'll be right back.